it going? So I have basically put together a fat loss checklist that I want to walk you through. This is pretty much everything that I just sat down for the last 30 minutes and listed out. And I thought, right, what's the most important things? What's going to be the most beneficial for basically getting you not just losing fat, but doing it consistently, get into that amazing lean physique that we're trying to get you to. And if you can honestly tick off most of the things in this list, you're not going to really put much of a foot wrong and you're going to get consistent results here. So if you're going through this now and you're thinking, fucking hell, I'm not even close to hitting any of these things, that is absolutely fine. It's just something to start working towards. So we're going to start with the most important one. The most important one for me is going to be your nutrition and tracking accuracy. So when it comes to fat loss, there's pretty much a hierarchy of like what's the most important. So if you've got like a pyramid, that's shaped like a pyramid, right? At the bottom, you've got, for me, is calorie deficit. That comes down to nutrition and tracking accuracy. Then you've got like step count and all the other stuff that kind of goes on top, right? What I mean by nutrition and tracking accuracy is, if we, for example, most of you probably use MyFitnessPal. When you're using MyFitnessPal, tracking every single food, every single liquid, every single sauce, every single oil. That means the coffees you get every single day, the cappuccinos, the flat whites, the mochas, whatever it is that you're getting, all of these things are getting tracked into the app. You're not missing anything. Like, sure, you're a human being, you might miss things from time to time, but 99% of things that you're going to have are going to get tracked into there. And when I say accuracy, I mean, like, if it's like chicken, you're not putting like an ounce of chicken, or you're not putting half a chicken, or whatever it is. Like, it's 200 grams chicken, for example, and then when you weigh it, you put 200 grams chicken. And it's not, you know, that there's the first part I just mentioned of making sure on the app it's specific, but the second part is also part of the accuracy. It's weighing it to that. So it's not putting 200 grams chicken and going, all right, I just pulled out a chicken breast that looks like 200 grams. I'm just going to not weigh that. So if you can match those things up, that's the biggest thing. This is going to have the biggest return on your fat loss that you can have, is focusing and doubling down on this more than anything else. If you can nail this, you're not really going to put much of a foot wrong and you're going to get great results. The second one is having protein in every meal. Helps you recover from the gym, keeps you satiated, so it's going to keep you nice and full, so snacking becomes a lot less, sticking to the diet becomes a lot easier, and you will literally burn more body fat just from digesting protein. So this is going to make a huge impact. So how much in every meal, I'm not going to tell you because it's specific to every single person, but just make sure every single meal you think protein first. So if I'm thinking of a recipe, I'm thinking, what's the protein I'm going to have? Then I'm thinking carbs, then I'm thinking fats, then I'm thinking veggies and stuff like that. 2 options every meal. One of the hardest parts about fat loss is decision fatigue. It's having to think about all of these different meals, all of these different things to do every single day. And what ends up happening is you're busy, you're stressed, and you just get pulled from pillar to post. You end up forgetting stuff and you don't make the best decisions, right? You get the takeaway, you get the meal deal, and whatever it might be. How do we make it so easy for you to like consistently hit your calorie and protein? Because again, that's a big part of the nutrition and tracking accuracy, and actually make it easy to follow. That comes from having 2 options every meal. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, instead of it's just like having so many different things, just dial it down to 2 different breakfast options, 2 different lunch options, 2 different dinner options, and just rotate as much as you want between these. Why? Because once they're set in stone, and it's almost like you've got this meal plan for yourself, you're set in stone of like what that meal looks like, the breakdown of it. You just know what you need to buy, you know how to cook it and prep it quickly, and you just follow it and follow it and follow it. The people that get the best fat loss results, honestly, and get in incredible shape, pretty much eat the same stuff every day. And that might sound a little bit boring, but the biggest thing that's more important is just getting the results. And yes, I'm not now saying go and eat foods you don't enjoy, eat a meal if it makes you miserable. What I'm saying is not every meal has to be a Gordon Ramsay meal. You can eat a meal and you can look forward to it enough where it's like a 6 out of 10. If it's below that, I'd say bin it off and don't eat it. But like, eat a meal that you enjoy eating, but it doesn't have to be a banger. That's the way I want you to kind of view your meal choices and also like the options. Just if you do get bored of something, like you're having one of your breakfast options, like, you know what, fuck this, I'm getting miserable now, it might happen at some point, take that out, replace it for a new one, and you just keep repeating that cycle. Most of us only eat the same 5 or 10 meals every day anyway, every week anyway, sorry. 150 to 200 grams of veggies in each meal. Why are we doing that? 1, for fiber intake, which is important, but 2, is to keep you nice and full. When we're dieting, we don't want to be starving all the time. There's going to be a bit of hunger, and that's part of the process. It's normal. But if you're getting this in your meals, there's a greater chance you're not going to be as hungry, greater chance you're not going to snack, and you're not going to feel like you're on a diet. So we need to make sure that's dialed in. Disciplined with your daily and weekly step target. The reason why I put both, what that basically means is, for example, just easy. If you've got a 10K step count every day, that means you've got 70K across the week. What's more important is you hit the weekly target, so you can have lower days and higher days as long as 70K gets ticked off. But the more disciplined you are, the better. I've never seen in my life somebody get really, really lean doing less than at least 8,000 steps a day. And for the most part, the people that do are like 10, 12, 15. So understand that the more you can actually structure this into a day, be disciplined, and follow through with this, the more you're going to burn. You're going to burn calories, you burn body fat, and you're going to get lean. Pre-tracking and planning your day's food ahead of time. Proactive versus reactive. The people that are reactive, what that looks like is you wake up, you don't know what you're going to eat. You go to the shop, you scan something, you have breakfast, you scan it, and you scan as you go. You get to the end of the day, your protein's like 70 or 80, or it's up and down. Your calories are over, and you're like, shit, I've gone over my calories today. That's not how you lose fat. How you lose fat is you pre-track everything. So that could look like on a Sunday, mapping out, already pre-tracking every day on MyFitnessPal, so you've got your own meal plan sorted. Or every evening when you're like watching Netflix, you're chilling on the sofa, you map out the following day. So then it's just like, I've got this plan, I know what I need to eat tomorrow, I know what the food's on, I know how much to weigh stuff, and you go ahead and follow it. If you change your mind, you just swap something out instead of putting something in. This way you're not forgetting anything. Again, your accuracy is nice and high, and this is the difference between getting results or not. It's calorie planning, not calorie tracking. We don't track calories, we plan them. That's the difference. And again, planning that going into the options that we have. So this is a lot easier when you only have a few options of meals, because you can save them as a meal on MyFitnessPal and you can plug and play it. You might think, fuck, planning out a whole week takes forever. It doesn't, because you're eating pretty much like me. I have the same breakfast every single day, 7 days a week. I just go bang, 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 bang. So easy. Then everything we're doing here is just making your life easier, basically. Drinking 2 to 3 litres of water a day. I won't stay long on this one. Keeps you hydrated, keeps your belly nice and full, makes it easier to stay full and not snack. Eating your meals slowly. You've probably not heard this one before. Why is it in here? Most people wolf down their meals so quickly to the point where, I've done this before. I've gone to like Nando's and I finished the meal, which is a decent plate of food. I'm still fucking hungry. Why is that? Because I've just rushed it. So when you're dieting, especially when you don't eat as much food as normal, or the calories are a bit lower and hunger is going to be a little bit higher at times, potentially, the longer you take, so minimum 10 minutes to eat the meal, not only do you digest it better, but you're going to feel fuller from that meal and more satiated, so you're going to get more out of it. If you just wolf it down, you're going to be starving after. So it's really important you take your time with these meals. You're mindful, you're in the moment, you're not thinking about other shit, or you're not, at least not watching like TV and you're not even realising you're eating the food, and you look down and go, fucking hell, where's it gone? I can't tell you the amount of times where I've just like rushed for a meal and I'm watching TV and I had like 2 slices of toast. I'm like, I didn't even realise I ate the first one. Like, we've all done that. So really make sure that you take your time, set a timer to get used to it if you want, or just chew slowly and just take your time, have a sip of water between every bite of food. Again, that'll help you slow things down. Tracking your body weight day to day, whether you like it or not, it is frustrating when it fluctuates, but it's going to fluctuate for so many reasons I won't go over in this. However, what I want you to do is weigh yourself every day, so we know what the trend is, what the average is every week, how things are moving forwards, obviously, hopefully going down over time. But not just that. I'm just going to pause for a second. Sorry, I just had someone calling me downstairs. So one of the other reasons why I want to track your body weight is because every day, if you know what your weight is, it puts you in that mindset of like, I'm dieting, which means that it's going to influence your decisions day to day. If you're not stepping on there and you're not aware of where things are at, there's a greater chance you're just not going to make as good decisions. So it will literally lock you in a lot better from doing this. So make sure like it's a non-negotiable. You have to step on the scales every day, and obviously put that into the app or put it into whatever system you're doing. Pre-plan any meals out. So if you're someone that's really social or not, it doesn't matter. You still have to make sure you're planning this stuff. Don't go into a social event not knowing what you're going to eat before and just kind of winging it and having what you want. You can enjoy your social life and get great results, obviously making like a little bit dimmed down decisions in what you might normally make. But you need to know, for example, if I'm going out Friday and today, or Saturday, today is Wednesday. So I know, cool, I've already mapped out what I'm going to eat for the next few days, and I've already mapped out the whole Saturday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, what I'm going to eat when I'm eating out. I've guesstimated the calories, the same having a beer, I've put that in there too. So I'm really thinking ahead of time, because it allows me to know what I need to do before that. So if I know the meal on a Saturday is like pretty mad meal, 2,000 calories. Let's say it's 1,000 calories, and I probably haven't got a lot of calories for that day, and I don't just want to eat one meal, I might save 100 calories from the next 3 days just to give me a little bit more of a buffer. So that's the difference. Planning ahead. Again, it's the same with planning your calories. It's being proactive, not being reactive. 7 to 9 hours sleep and a consistent routine. What I mean by consistent routine is because it means, like having a consistent bedtime and a wake up time. So trying to get that close as possible within like 30 minutes of each other. That's the easiest and the quickest thing you can do to improve your sleep. But the reason I want to sleep more, how many times, for example, have you woke up where you've had like 2 or 3 hours sleep a night and you are absolutely starving the next day? It's because it really impacts your hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin. So you end up producing more of the hunger hormone. And again, this is probably when you typically find yourself going on a track, when you find yourself snacking, especially when you're obviously dieting. We don't want those things to happen. We want to try and stay as full as possible 99% of the time. So making sure we have our sleep dialed in, and that helps with your recovery as well, strength building. 2, and the last one is limiting alcohol intake. I wasn't sure about putting this one in here. Not a lot of my clients drink that much, but you're never going to get great results if you're going out and getting pissed every single weekend. Sure, if you've got a wedding, you've got these events every now and then, you're a human being, you can enjoy them. Even I do. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to be the end of the world. But if you're out every single weekend, you're drinking 8, 9, 10 pints, you go into the kebab shop, you're eating the cheesy chips, you're getting the pizza, you're getting the kebab, obviously, whatever it is. And the next following day, you're feeling demotivated. By Wednesday, you're still a little bit tired. You're having pretty shit gym sessions and you just don't feel like following the process. Guess what happens? You go off track and it slows down the whole week ahead and really throws you out of rhythm. So that's why I recommend you just limit this as much as you can. I've gone through diets before where I know it's only 8 weeks and I've just cut alcohol out completely and I got way better results because I just don't want to be hungry all the time and feel tired. I just want it to be easy as possible. I'm not saying you have to do that, but at least limit it and make good decisions when you do. So that's pretty much it. That's like, there could have been more things. There could have been things that took away from this, but I think if you're following most of these, fucking amazing. If you're not, that's cool. Let me know. We can walk through and talk through things that we can help you improve, and how we can fit these into your week as a consistent thing. And one thing to add to that too, which I didn't put in, it just came to my mind now, structure. You need structure. You cannot just wing everything. If you're winging your life and you're going into every day just unaware of what's happening, you're going to fall behind. The best way to be able to do all of these things consistently, and the clients that do the best of this, is they have a calendar every day and every week. Like, they know, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow at this time. I'm getting my steps in at this time in the morning, this time in the afternoon, this time in the evening. I'm prepping my meals at this time. I'm going to sleep at this time. Like, it's just everything is mapped out in their life, even their work, their social life, everything's in there. When you do that, it's so much easier to follow through. So just make sure you're doing that on top of all this stuff here. Otherwise, you'll be like a headless chicken and that's not going to work very well. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Hopefully it's been helpful. Like I said, any questions off the back of this, just let me know.